Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven JavaScript video. I'm recording this on August 1st, 2012, picking up right where we left off in the last episode. And what we had been doing in the last episode is we're still trying to write a basic test against our server. Now, this is something I've never done before, and so we're sort of working this out as we go. And specifically what's happening is it's pausing indefinitely, and it seems to be some sort of asynchronous ordering issue, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. We're calling get, and it's never coming back from get. We're never seeing that response callback. And I don't understand why not. Let's go back to our spike. Yeah, we're calling get, but we're never seeing anything back from that. Why not? Now this spike works, this get spike works, so let's go ahead and run this in our test and see what happens. That appears to be working. Yeah, that's definitely working. So if we instead ask this to talk to localhost 8080, what happens? It fails because the connection was refused. But if we start the server, it pauses forever. Interesting. All right, let's go instrument our server. So, got start called. We're going to have stop called. By the way, for those of you out there who are really wishing I was using the debugger or something like that, don't worry, we will get to those conveniences. But like I said, I like to start out when I'm figuring out something new, I really want to just limit my confusion to one thing at a time. So, I know the console log works, and it's fairly easy for me to put in here. So I'm just going to do that. And then once we've got this working, we'll figure out the debugger later. Oh, I know what the problem is. Oh, it's dumb. Oh, well, you know, these things happen. I'm not ending the response. And I'll bet you this instrumentation will prove it. I think we'll see everything happen up to request called, and then it will stop. Yeah. Dumb, 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 dumb. Okay, response.end. And look at that. It's not ending yet, but I think that's because we're not closing the server. Let's put this teardown back. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Start server on listen request. Got response. Start called. All right. Okay. So the problem there, for those of you who didn't catch it, the problem there was that we were getting the request, and then Node was waiting for us to finish the request. So we had this connection open. It was just hanging out there indefinitely. I think if we had waited long enough, we might have gotten a timeout. But yeah, so I just forgot to put this response.end in there, and that's why it wasn't working. And then I had to make sure that the server was stopped as well. So now I think I can take this spike code back out. You can see how it's useful to do the spike code. It really, since I knew for a fact that the spike code was working, I could stop messing around with that, and it managed to focus my attention where the issue was. So that didn't work. Let's take a second look at this. So I think the spike code is working. Oh, but test spike, actually it says it's not done. We got a response. So that, and we're saying test.done right there. What happens if we put test.done here? No, we can't do that. I'm not even sure what teardown takes. Let's go take a quick look at that. Define a setup and a teardown, and the teardown has a callback. All right. There we go. Okay. So I think everything's working here. Let's call that done rather than callback. Okay, that's so start's called, server is called, on is called, listen is called, request is called. We get the response. We start the teardown. Stop is called. Teardown ends. We get the stop callback, and then we're done. So that's all good. So our test spike is working properly. But when we bring in our real test, it isn't working. So what are we doing wrong? It says that it's not running. Oh, we're calling stop twice. Yeah, that's not a big deal. We just, part of our experimentation, we put an extra call to stop in there. So there we go. That's great. Okay. So I think we have our first real client server test working. Awesome. Let's go ahead and clean this up. I don't know if we need this done here or not. Let's try taking that out. What happens if we don't have that in there? Yeah, then it complains about undone tests. Yeah, undone tests or their setup teardowns. Perfect. So we need the done there. And we really want that to happen after the server has stopped. Otherwise, when we're running multiple tests, we could get some awkwardness. So good. So here we start the server. We call get. If that works, then we call test.done. Yeah, so what we want to do here is we should say test server opens a port or responds to get requests. That's really what we're testing here. Okay, so got our first test working. That's awesome. Awesome. So let's take a look at our to-do. What's next? Got a whole bunch of to-dos here, but I think these are all inside of Node modules. So let's go ahead and ignore that. Yeah, so there's no to-dos left. We do need to remove the instrumentation here. Okay. Now, we're talking about removing that duplication, and there's some other things that we talked about doing that I don't remember, but it'll come back. So what should we do next? We've spiked our HTTP server. We've test-driven a really simple server. Next, I think it would be useful to actually cause this thing to return some sort of value. Yeah, let's do that. But looking at the time, it looks like that's all the time we have for this episode. So next time, we'll pick up with making the server do a bit more stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you next time.